The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet. It sustains life, yet it has taken more lives than we can count. For centuries, sailors whispered of places they feared, locations where ships vanished, waters that swallowed entire fleets. Even with modern technology, there are areas so dangerous that few dare to enter. Why are these places so deadly? Some are ruled by unpredictable natural forces, others by predators lurking beneath the waves. And then, there are places where science can't explain what happens. Tonight, we take you into the heart of the deadliest places in the world's oceans, places where survival is not guaranteed. 1. The Devil's Sea, also known as the Dragon's Triangle, located off the coast of Japan. Ships and planes have disappeared without a trace. Strange electrical disturbances reported. Fishermen speak of eerie lights beneath the water. 2. The Bermuda Triangle, one of the most infamous regions of the ocean. Countless disappearances of aircraft and ships. Unsettling communications before last known sightings. Magnetic anomalies. Compasses fail, radios cut off. The USS Cyclops vanished with 309 men aboard never found. 3. The Great Blue Hole, Belize, a massive underwater sinkhole over 400 feet deep, deceptively beautiful but treacherous. Extreme depths pull in divers, disorienting them. Oxygen-depleted layers create deadly conditions. Legends of giant creatures lurking below. 4. The Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the world's oceans. More people have been to the moon than to its depths. Pressure so intense they can crush a human in seconds. Scientists have recorded eerie sounds, unidentifiable, unnatural. The last known footage from an unmanned probe shows something moving. 5. The Skeleton Coast, Namibia, where the Atlantic meets the desert. Endless shipwrecks, scattered like bones. Violent currents drag ships into oblivion. Sharks, scavengers, and no escape if stranded. 6. The Indian Ocean's rogue waves, the ocean's unseen killers. For centuries, sailors spoke of something impossible. Waves that rose from nowhere, walls of water towering higher than a 10-story building. Ships would be swallowed in an instant, leaving no wreckage, no trace. The scientific community dismissed these stories as superstition until one night in 1995. The Dropner oil platform in the North Sea was recording wave activity when, suddenly, a 100-foot wall of water surged toward it. Instruments captured the event, the first recorded proof of a rogue wave. But what about the ones that weren't recorded? In the Indian Ocean, freighters and tankers disappear without distress signals. Survivors have described a moment of eerie calm, followed by a dark shadow rising on the horizon. And then chaos. Metal twisted like paper. Crews flung into the abyss. Some of these waves are so large, they should be impossible. So, where do they come from? Some say deep ocean currents collide, creating these sudden giants. Others believe they are something far worse, something ancient, something watching. The Indian Ocean is vast, but if you listen, you can still hear the echoes of ships that were never seen again. 7. Point Nemo, the loneliest place on Earth. There's a place on Earth where you are closer to astronauts in space than to any human on land. This is Point Nemo, the most isolated spot in the ocean. Over 1,600 miles from the nearest land. It is an empty void in the Pacific. No islands, no boats, just endless blue. Sailors avoid it. No one comes here. And yet, strange signals have been detected from these waters. Sounds that defy explanation. One of them is known as the bloop, a deep, guttural noise so loud it was heard across the entire Pacific Ocean. Some say it was ice breaking. Others aren't so sure. What could be out here in the deepest, most desolate part of the sea? Something beneath the waves? Or something waiting above? There is one more mystery about Point Nemo. NASA uses it as a spacecraft graveyard. Dozens of decommissioned satellites and space stations have been intentionally crashed into these waters. Is it just for safety? Or Do they know something about these waters that we do not? 8. The Gulf of Mexico's dead zone, a sea without life. There is a stretch of water in the Gulf of Mexico where life is simple ends. Fish do not swim here. No coral grows. Nothing moves. It is a dead zone. Scientists have discovered that the oxygen levels here are too low to support life. But what's truly strange is how fast it is growing. Every year, the dead zone expands, swallowing more and more of the Gulf. Something is suffocating these waters. But fishermen have reported something disturbing. In the moments before the oxygen disappears, marine life frenzies. Schools of fish thrash violently, as if trying to escape something unseen. What could be causing this? Some say pollution. Others whisper that something deep below is rising, poisoning the ocean itself. And if it continues to spread, where does it stop? 9. The South China Sea's ghost ships, the crews that vanished. In the South China Sea, ships do not just sink. They are empty. Fishermen have stumbled upon massive freighters, engines running, food still on tables, but not a single crew member aboard. One of the most chilling cases happened in 1948. A distress signal crackled over the radio. All officers dead, captain dead. I am dying. Then silence. When a rescue crew arrived, they found the SS Arong Medan floating aimlessly. Every crew member was dead, but not from drowning. Their bodies were frozen in expressions of terror, mouths open, eyes wide. The rescuers barely had time to investigate before the ship exploded violently and sank to the depths. No trace was ever found. Was it poisoning, a hidden weapon, or something else? And why do new ghost ships still appear, drifting endlessly, their stories never told? 10. Cape Horn, the sailor's graveyard. Cape Horn, the southernmost tip of South America, one of the most feared places in maritime history. The waters here do not just kill, they consume. Massive ice-cold waves collide from two different oceans, creating chaotic, unpredictable swells. Winds howl at 80 miles per hour. Ships that enter these waters rarely escape. Hundreds of wrecks rest beneath these waves, their stories lost to time. Some say the spirits of sailors still haunt these waters. On stormy nights, whispers rise from the sea, calling out, begging for rescue. Would you dare to sail these waters? Many have, and the ocean remembers them all. 11. The Baltic Sea anomaly, the sunken enigma. In 2011, a sonar scan revealed something that shouldn't exist. Lying deep at the bottom of the Baltic Sea is a massive, circular structure, perfectly symmetrical, over 200 feet wide. Its surface appears metallic, riddled with what looks like ramps, steps, and something resembling a staircase leading inside. At first, scientists thought it was a natural rock formation, but when divers approached, something changed. Electrical equipment failed without explanation. Cameras flickered and shut off. Compasses spun wildly. It was as if the structure itself was rejecting them. Some believe it is the remains of an ancient civilization. Others whisper that it isn't from this world. But here is what's truly chilling. The Baltic Sea anomaly isn't alone. Similar structures have been found across the ocean floor, silent and waiting. But waiting for what? And why does it seem that whenever we try to get close, does something stops us? 12. The Yonaguni Monument, the sunken city. Off the coast of Japan, something ancient lies beneath the waves. Massive stone terraces, staircases cut with mathematical precision, pillars that rise in perfect symmetry. This is the Yonaguni Monument. For years, experts argued that this structure is natural. But then something changed. Divers discovered carvings, symbols eerily similar to those found in lost civilizations on land. If these ruins were once part of a city, then it means one thing. Something massive, something catastrophic sank it. What happened here? A tsunami? A forgotten disaster? Or something we were never meant to find? And if one ancient city is hidden beneath the waves, How many more are waiting to be discovered? 13. The boiling sea, where the ocean burns. Near the coast of Indonesia, the ocean is alive, but not with life, with something far more dangerous. This is the boiling sea. The water here roils violently. Great clouds of steam rise as if the ocean itself is on fire. Sailors who have passed through describe feeling the temperature rise, the air becoming heavy, thick with something unseen. Many believe this phenomenon is caused by underwater volcanoes, but others aren't convinced. Locals speak of a legend that long ago, something massive was buried beneath these waves, something that stirs once every century. Could this just be nature at work? Or is something deep below waking up? 14. The ocean's black holes, where ships disappear. There are places in the ocean where ships do not just sink. They will vanish. They call them oceanic black holes, sudden whirlpools that appear without warning, massive spirals of water that pull ships down in seconds, leaving no survivors. One of the most infamous lies in the Indian Ocean. Satellite images have captured perfect circular holes forming in the water, holes that should not exist. Some scientists say these are caused by ocean currents colliding in just the right way. Others say something is pulling from below. And here's the most terrifying part. In 2015, a group of researchers studying these whirlpools disappeared. Their last transmission was a frantic radio call, describing a dark shape in the water. And then silence. No wreckage was ever found. What happened to them? And more importantly, could it happen again? 15. The Antarctic Abyss, the final unknown. There is a trench in the Southern Ocean so deep, so cold, that no human has ever explored it fully. They call it the Antarctic Abyss. For decades, scientists believed this part of the ocean was lifeless. But in 2018, something was found, something moving. A deep-sea probe recorded a shadow, larger than a whale, moving at impossible speeds. The footage was cut out before it could be analyzed. When a second probe was sent down, it was crushed. The pressure at those depths should have done that instantly. But the probe survived for minutes before being violently destroyed. Was it a freak accident or something else? Some believe that beneath Antarctica's ice lies an ecosystem untouched by time. Others fear that it holds something far worse, something that has remained hidden for a reason. And the real question is, if we ever find it, will it let us leave? The ocean's greatest secret,